Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Chris Stollings. You know me here on YouTube as MarauderEX, and as always, I am your host for Operation Recap, where I take some of the stories from OperationRainfall.com and throw them here at YouTube, get a little cross-exposure sort of thing going on, what have you. It's cold, so I'm wearing lots of layers. Let's get into the first story of this cold October day. First off, Tales of Symphonia. Two stories coming out of Tales of Symphonia. One, it has a European-Australian release date, so it will be released in the EU or AUS areas. That date is February 28th, 2014. So, if you live in the UK or Australia, it is coming your way. I am really looking forward to this. I loved the original Tales of Symphonia. I've got the sequel on the Wii. I've never played it. Not yet, though. One of my favorite Tales games. It was the game that got me into the Tales series. And the second story for you Tales fans, again with the Symphonia Chronicles, this version will have both the PS2 and GameCube opening cinematics. And that's something a lot of people don't really know. The Tales of Symphonia was actually ported to the PS2 in Japan. Japan-only release, was not released anywhere else. But it had some extra content, one of those things being a new opening. And so this collection will actually have both openings available for the first Symphonia game, which is actually kind of a big deal, because a lot of the PS2 content was exclusive to PS2, never seen outside of Japan, and it's going to be released as part of this HD compilation. So if you needed any more reason to get this game, other than it's two great games packed into one, or at least one great game, I can't say for the sequel, but Symphonia is well worth it for an HD release. So the sequel can't hurt, extra, it's just icing on the cake sort of deal. So, yeah, both of those openings are going to be available, and it's going to be available in Europe and Australia. So, lots of good news on the Symphonia front. Let's see, next story. Ikaruga has passed Steam Greenlight. For those of you who don't know what Steam Greenlight is, it's a kind of a voting process. You put this game up on Greenlight. If it gets enough votes, that means it is eligible to be put on Steam. It's a way of getting other games on Steam that are not necessarily on Steam. For those of you who do not know what Ikaruga is, which is probably a good percentage of you, it is one of the most glorious shoot-'em-ups ever conceived. Exceptionally difficult, one of the ones that coined bullet hell back in the day. And this wasn't even one of the ones that coined it. This is just one of my first experiences with a bullet hell game becoming exceptionally popular. This game was originally released on the Dreamcast, and then it was released on the GameCube. The GameCube version, I believe, is the only version that actually legitimately make it to the US. Granted, with the Dreamcast and its piracy problems, I played it on the Dreamcast first because someone gave me a copy, and I'm like, sure, this looks great. The premise of the game is you have black and white energy. Enemies shoot either black or white attacks, and depending on what form you're in, you either absorb that and take no damage, or take damage to it, so you have to switch between the two. It's very, very interesting, very difficult. And this means that it could be on Steam. It's not guaranteed. Greenlight is not a guarantee. It is just higher probability. So we're hoping that everything goes well to have this released on Steam. It's a great game. And it's one of 37 that just recently passed Steam Greenlight. So let's hope that, the bulk of those games see the light of day on Steam, because the more platforms the game is available, the more gamers have a chance to play it. And last up, some Nintendo news for today. So, Nintendo is coming out with a new bundle. It's a new Wii U bundle. This one has two games on a disc, which is actually kind of surprising. It has New Super Mario Bros. U and Super Luigi U on one disc. So that's interesting, because the last bundles they've seemed to be doing just have the digital game. Like, I have the Wind Waker HD, and everything was digital. I was a little disappointed that Wind Waker did not come on the disc version, but, I like having a shelf full of games. So, But the fact that it's coming on a disc version is very interesting. It will be the new $300 bundle, replacing the Wind Waker bundle, because they just seem to be cycling out bundles for this. So, no harm in that. Gives people a chance to get it. There is some criticism because it's older games. Super Mario Bros. U was one of the launch titles, and it got criticism for not being different enough from New Super Mario Bros. Wii. So there's a little back and forth on it, but you really can't, shake a fist at two games, essentially for free. Except not, because it's still the price of your bundle. But anyway, so yeah, that is this week's recap. It's been a fairly slow week, having a lot of fun, just sitting there reading articles on Rainfall. Lots of opinion pieces, lots of editorials. So go check out Rainfall.com. There's a lot more stuff on there. The stories that I talked about will be in the video description below. And as always, I will catch you guys for the next recap. So till then, later everyone.